Let's switch our attention to the Syracuse women's basketball team. It is our weekly visit with head coach Felisha Legette-Jack, brought to us as always by Matthews Nissan and Matthews Kia of Clay. He said, Coach Jack, welcome in. Thanks as always for hopping on with us. Plenty to talk about with your team. We'll get to all that. I just gotta ask anybody involved with basketball your opinions on this. When you saw that Luka trade come down the other day, did your brain explode, or like what was your opinion when that thing popped out on Saturday night into Sunday morning?
I thought it was a joke. I honestly thought it was a joke. I said, wait a minute, no, these cats, this AI stuff. I don't know computers that well. That's why I'm on my phone right now instead of being on a computer. But then I realized, like, wait a minute, ain't nobody laughing. This is some real stuff. I think it's great. It's great for the game. Shake it up. I think the NBA needed to shake this thing up a little bit and bring some more energy and interest back into the fold. So it's all good to me.
Hey, if their goal was to get us talking about it, it worked. All I know is like the watching the men's game on Saturday, Coach, and it ends and the Sports Center starts or whatever, and that news came on. I was the same as you. I'm like, wait, am I just too tired, or did that really just happen? Like it took a minute for it to sink in. Didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Hey,
all right, let's hit your team here yesterday. Tough one in the fourth. Kind of got away from you late. Turnovers. Anything else you put your finger on? What happened down the stretch yesterday?
Game plan. We had a game plan, and we panicked a little bit, and then we went away from it. And I gotta help us not panic down the stretch. And the wrong people were bringing the ball up the floor, and the right people was ready to receive it, but the wrong person got it first. And so, we just panicked. We didn't turn the ball over at all for the first part of the game in 3 quarters. And then we just started just coughing it up. And, I know we're trying. It's hard when you win 8 games, you're desperate and you're playing desperate. And we got to figure out how to be desperate, but don't show it. And we're getting better, but we got to continue to work and get more minutes into that fourth quarter. We got 3 good quarters. Now we got to get more minutes out of that fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was, man, you were up double figures there, but after 3 before it slipped away in the fourth. What's the fine line there? Because you mentioned desperate. There's got to be a fine line between desperate and, like, frantic, right? You got to still be under control. How hard is that to balance here at this point of the year?
But you know what? Everyone's going to be up 15 and then lose it, and then you're going to be good enough to get it back. I was watching Florida State play against Wake Forest, I think, and they were up almost 25 points, and they cut it to like 5, but Florida State got the number 1 scorer in the country on their team, and they got a post player that's seasoned, that's a vet, and they ended up not just taking the lead back, but blowing them out by 25. And we had a kid on our team that can make those situations happen for us too. She's just not here anymore, and we got to develop another person, and we're good at developing young people like that, and we're going to do it again. I was hoping to do it a little bit faster than we are right now. I know that the fan base is a little bit frustrated with us a little bit, but it takes what it takes, and our kids are working hard. They're still locked in, but we don't have that Deja Fair that we developed to be that killer that she became. And but she's somewhere on our team right now. We just got to figure out who's the next one.
I know Georgia Woolley's had her moments being that player, right, for you. It certainly wasn't on Sunday. Like I know that's who you want it to be right now. Yeah. How hard is it? You can't force it, right? I guess it's either there or it's not on a game-by-game basis.
You can't force it. And the thing is, G has been so hurt, so banged up, and she's the one that does get the least amount of calls when it comes to her body getting thrown all over the damn gym. But it is what it is. That what don't kill you is going to have to make you stronger, but we need her stronger. We need her to understand that, you got to take plays off in the middle of the game, and then we can have you at the end of the game. And so how are we going to do that? We're going to have to sit her down a little bit. She's playing way too many minutes right now. We don't have anybody on our team that's good enough to be playing 37 minutes, and that's what she's doing right now. And so we got to figure out how to steal minutes back to give them to other players that's been sitting on the bench and not really exerting themselves. So we got to do a better job, and our players got to do a better job too. And one thing that we're doing, we're talking about it, and we're trying to execute different things. And I love the development that we're doing right now.
You mentioned Deja there and how it fits into it, and I think you're right here, Coach, because she almost always had a better fourth quarter than her first 3 quarters, right? Like she'd ramp up into it. Like when you're that kind of player, you almost I don't want to say you have to leave a little something in the tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because you know that it's going to land on you late in the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. DeAsia was a great fourth quarter her last year, but we were terrible fourth quarter the first year. And so we're a better second quarter our first year here. So it's weird how it's happening. And then her second year with us, she was on every quarter, and her side chicks were doing the same thing. They're like, we'll do whatever we got to do, rebound, run the floor. But I just think this team is just so different, and I'm different, and I'm trying to figure out how to coach this team like a little bit different than what I did last year. Last year, everybody had a story inside their belly, and they just like, when I get on them, I'm like, we got to do this for the Gipper kind of speeches and all that kind of fun stuff. But this team is like, Coach, can you just tell us exactly what you want from us and stop talking this Gipper crap, So I'm learning them, they learning me, and we're having fun all the way down the stretch. It's February right now. It's definitely go time, and I love them. I love this group from who they are, and we're going to get out of this what we're supposed to get out of it. But one thing you won't find is us quitting. We won't stop, and we'll keep fighting. And that's why my eyes look so nice and swollen right now, because been up all night long just trying to figure some other things out. And I think we got more pieces to the puzzle for this next game. That's our prayer and that's our hope.
Those Gipper speeches are a lot more fun, right, than just drawing plays up on the whiteboard. It's more fun to get them fired up, I'd imagine.
I'm not a play do well, and so but this team is a cerebral team, and they need to see the play. So I got to kind of force myself to do the things that they need us to do. And with DeAsia, I was like, AD, he said, Coach, what's the play? I said, go get a bucket. That's the play. And now the play is like, we got to call red and up screen and tandem screen away and, circle cut and all that fun stuff. And so we're doing that more so. And Coach KC is stepping up and really helping me with that play call thing, because I just want kids to go out there and have fun, fly around and go get a bucket.
It's important too, right? You mentioned Coach Carter there. Like you put your staff together in a way too, where they can all enhance you as well, right? Like it's important to have somebody like that to lean on at this time of the year.
Yeah, and they all have their special things that they're doing. And Coach Sharkey is more of an out of bounds coach, and Coach Ty is the guy that sits next to the players and get them ready to go back in, or the kid that get ready to sub in. He's the one talking to them last, so they can know what we're doing. And I'm the defensive person that kind of lock into the defensive side of the ball. So it's neat that when we all have our role and our purpose, and even Amber Moore, our video coordinator, she sits between the players and have her say as well. So we don't have a lot of people on our staff, so everybody has 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and we all love it, and we make it work as much as we can.
Yeah, you mentioned big changes on your team, obviously, this year. Man, a few teams in the country have had as many changes, I think, as your next opponent, Virginia Tech, coming up on Thursday. Like, what is the deal with this year's Hokies team? We got to know all these players and coaches for years. It feels like everyone's gone. What's this Virginia Tech team you're dealing with on Thursday?
They got a good group. They're winning. She put together a good team of people that came with her from Marquette, and they're figuring out how to win games that's close, and they had a big win last game. And I'm so mesmerized by this team that I have. I'm not really sure what's going on over there and why it changed over the way it did. I'm busy trying to get Syracuse together, and it's going to be there's going to be a player-to-player defense versus our matchup, and it's going to be their guard shooters versus our guard shooters. I think the X factor is our bigs. If our bigs come to play, I think we're going to have a really good night. But we got to come to play. You can't come half-stepping. You got to come for real. You got to come with your story in your heart, and you got to really understand it's going to take some pain. Sometimes you might have to throw up on the sideline, but that's what kind of coach you play for. I wouldn't ask you to do something I wouldn't do or haven't done in the past, but it got to mean more than me saying go win it for the Gipper. You got to know the plays and you got to be able to execute, but you got to remember your story, and that's really something that I think eludes us sometimes, and we get too tired to remember our story. You can never be too tired to remember your story.
All right, Coach. We'll be looking forward to watching what the next chapter of your story is coming up on Thursday when you're down in Blacksburg. All right, Felisha, thanks so much for hopping on. We'll do it again next week, all right?
I appreciate you. Thank you. And I love your voice, man. I can talk to you all day. Don't tell my husband I said that, all right?
Okay, we won't let him know. It's just between you and me. This isn't anywhere else.
This
isn't anywhere else.
That's why I like you, man. That's why I like you.
All right. Thanks, Coach Jack. There we are. Yeah, nobody tell the rest of the Jack household we We can't have that. That would cause discord in the community. We don't need that. All right, let's hit a break here. We'll do a little 411 after this. Shaking it up. 315-437-7644. We're back next year. Give Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.